Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks, bringing you the daily Tesla report for Monday, December 12th, 2022. Take a look at the weekly chart here. We've been bottoming off this long-term support region now for the last month or so, 5 weeks or so. This week, 165.87 to 173.98. It is a wide zone, but that's what happens when you've got a one-year channel structure coming down. And before I jump into the full analysis, I just want to encourage you to please click like if you haven't already for Tesla or Apple analysis. We also do a daily Apple report as well, each and every trading day. Subscribe to the Wicked Stocks channel. It'll provide you notification each and every time new content has been uploaded to the Wicked Stocks YouTube channel. That includes the daily Tesla and Apple report. And please share the content, if you would, with friends and colleagues. So 165.87 to 173.98, a wide zone of support relative to, day trading, of course, but not so wide if you're more of a 2 to 3 week position trader or a 2 to 3 month near-term investor. Holding above 165.87 to 173.98 allows this market to stabilize and even turn up in a significant way as we continue into the first quarter of next year. One of the charts that I've been pointing to recently is this long-term descending one-third speed line that is new based on the low from several weeks ago. It is our next significant longer-term resistance area, and I'm going to say this area is in reach by the end of January. Perhaps we need to get up and over 196.96 sooner than later for that to become a reality. Otherwise, I'll push that back to later February. But I do think it's kind of a 1 to 2 month target right now above the significant 165.87 to 173.98 area. In fact, on the daily chart, I've got the daily chart version of that here. And you can see 196.96 is a descending one-third speed line projected off that August pullback high. That is the highest the market had reached following the low from the previous May. And the long-term speed line that was in the 239 handle I showed a moment ago on the daily chart, it comes in at 240.71. So I like to use the daily charts with an S for more precisional support and resistance levels. And so this picture holding above the mid 160s to low 170s, we'll call it, will keep 196.96 in reach possibly this week and this 240.71 speed line over the next month or two. If we were to close above 196.96 in the coming days, then this could be as little as 2 to 3 weeks, 3 to 5 at the very most. That's where I say possibly by the end of January, if we close above 196.96 sooner than later. And so that is sort of the framework for not only the longer term 2 to 3 month investor or near term investor, but also, you've got this sort of two-sided framework short term for the week itself and into next week between the 166.32 and 196.96 extremes. Now, these levels on the daily chart are going to be a little different than what we find on the weekly chart. I'm sticking with the weekly numbers 165.87 and 173.98, but on the daily chart, they're 166.32 and 174.72, and you can do with them as you may. But really, just to keep it simple, I'm just going to continue with these weekly levels all week long. Now, if we were to close the week Friday below 165.87, and that is a weekly settlement. So, but, even a daily settlement of 164.21 or lower, that is a 1% violation of this weekly channel bottom, does, in my opinion, set off the likelihood for follow-through selling as we move into later week. I'll get to that in a moment, but big picture, this market continues to unravel to the downside. If we close Friday, the week itself, 164.21 or lower, a 1% violation of 165.87. But I don't want to go there right now because we're just merely testing support. And let's take a look at the day itself. Just so you know, a wickedstocks.com membership delivers regular daily video analysis in the SPY and Triple Q, weekly video analysis in the S&P 500 index, the NASDAQ 100 index, and a U.S. Treasury ETF, and 2 individual stock pick videos every week. Check out our other content by clicking the link below. These horizontal lines represent those long-term channel bottoms on the weekly chart. We've got minor points. I didn't really want to weigh again one over the other. They're all sort of equally valid. 175.20, 78.94, 80.47, and 83.99. Some variation of a high, of a low, or an upside Fibonacci over the last week and a half of trade, as you can see here. 187.51 is, by the way, a 5/8 upside Fibonacci from the extremes over the last week and a half or so. A 187.51, if tested, able to contain daily buying pressures. If we close today above 187.51, we should tomorrow reach this 196.96 long-term speed line, which is preceded actually by a meaningful channel top that is about 2 months in the making. They're very close together. I'm hinging off of 196.96. So this area is in reach tomorrow if we close today above 187.51. 196.96, able to contain buying for the week itself. And from there, we can fall back into next week into the mid 160s, low 170s, 165.87 to 173.98. But, closing above 196.96 is considered an eventuality following the test of long-term support over the last few weeks in the 165.87 to 173.98 area. And once again, if we do close above 196.96 in the coming days, I've got 213.50 as a quick 2 to 3, 3 to 5 day target, 228.17 as a 1 to 2 week objective where we could top out on a weekly basis. And over the following 2 to 3, 3 to 5 weeks of closing above 196.96, once again, this 240.71 longer term speed line where we can top out on a monthly basis and possibly fall off from here into later Q1. In other words, into February trade, back into this long-term support zone. That is a big picture analysis here. Let's talk once again downside, that if we do close today below 165.87 by that 1% margin of 164.21 or lower, we do have an intra-week objective of 147.48. This would take all of about 3 to 5 days. So if we settle today 164.21 or lower, 147.48 is likely. And then the official sell signal longer term below 165.87 on Friday by a 1% margin, 164.21 or lower. I think we've got a realistic 1 to 2 month target into the 109.97 to 121.67 area. This is our next band of channel support that can contain at least weekly, if not monthly selling pressures at the time, and who knows, maybe longer term selling pressures. The question then, of course, is I think off of 109.97 to 121.67, we could expect a rally back into the mid 160s to the low 170s once again. And then the question at that point in time is, can we get back above that significant area? So, if we close below this channel structure, break into the 110s over the following month or two, and then we close back above this channel structure, that would be a signal for a good long-term low. But chances are that this long-term structure could hold buying pressures. I'm going through a scenario here where we close below 165.87, we drop into the 110s within a month or two, and then if we can close back above this area, good long-term low. But this long-term area may well then contain follow-through buying pressures, and then we fall again. Just keep in mind that this channel bottoms, where are you? Here, continues dropping at a pretty steep pace. And that's as much as I'm going to say to the downside. I don't like Tesla long term below 165.87 at the end of this week, 164.21 or lower. I think you can play the short side aggressively as we continue into later Q1. Yes, we've got meaningful support levels on the way down, but I think that the tide will turn, that this is a big hinge area, 165.87 to 173.98. And if we close below it, I don't think it's a pretty picture for Tesla as we move into later 23. But we're not there. I'm not trying to rattle any cages. This is bottom picking territory. I'm bullish Tesla into later Q1 and even into later 23 above this 165.87 to 173.98 area. Make no mistake about it. As long as we continue mustering settlements at or above this zone, this is a good bottom picking territory long term. I think that pretty much covers it for today's Daily Tesla Report. I'll be back tomorrow with Tuesdays, of course. Please click like and subscribe if you would. I'll be back tomorrow with Tuesdays. You have a great day, and we will talk soon.